My father slammed a stack of printed screenshots onto the dining table and looked me dead in the eye. "Start packing," he said. I was standing in the kitchen in my pajamas, barely awake. It was almost midnight on a Tuesday, and the house felt colder than it should have. My mother sat at the island, face buried in her hands, shoulders shaking. My 11-year-old brother Leo hovered in the hallway, eyes wide with something that looked like fear, but that I mistook at the time for shock. "Dad, what is this?" My voice cracked on the last word. He tapped the papers without looking down, his jaw tight enough to crack. "Don't play dumb, Sam. The principal called tonight. Someone's been sending vicious anonymous emails to Coach Henderson about his divorce. The IP traces straight back to this house, and the burner account was logged into your old laptop." I went cold. Coach Henderson wasn't just my favorite teacher. He was the closest thing I had to a second father. "I didn't do this," I said. "I swear to you, I would never." My mother finally looked up, her eyes swollen. "They found a draft, Sam, sitting open on your desk, ready to send tomorrow. We checked." I couldn't get a full breath in. My laptop sat open on my desk every single day. Anyone in the house could have touched it. But nobody was looking at me like family anymore. They were looking at me like a stranger who'd been wearing my face the whole time. The next 48 hours were the worst of my life. Suspended from school pending investigation. Pulled off the track team. Every time I walked into a room, conversation stopped like someone had hit mute. Even my closest friends went quiet, their texts sitting there unanswered, mocking me. I had never felt so completely alone. Leo barely said a word the entire time. He just sat, hunched over his Switch, thumbs moving, eyes fixed on the screen like the rest of us didn't exist. I cornered him once, desperate. "Leo, please, tell them you were on my laptop. Tell them something." He just stared at the glow of the screen and said nothing. By Friday, my dad had brochures for military boarding schools spread across the kitchen counter, glossy and cruel under the overhead light. He told me, flatly, that I needed discipline, that I had a darkness in me he'd never seen coming. I don't think I'd ever felt betrayal like that before, and I hope I never do again. That afternoon, we sat in a freezing conference room to hand the laptop over to the school's cybersecurity consultant. Me, my parents, the principal, a guy named Mr. Davis, glasses sliding down his nose. Leo tagged along too, quiet in the corner, swinging his legs like none of it touched him. Mr. Davis pulled up the system logs. "Let's check the exact timestamps," he murmured. The air conditioner was the only sound in the room. "Interesting," he said, leaning in. "The emails were sent from this laptop, yes, but they went out during school hours, between 10 and 11 on a Tuesday and a Thursday." My mother frowned. "He has study hall then. He could have snuck home." "Maybe," Mr. Davis said slowly. "Except this laptop's set up to connect to your home Wi-Fi automatically. And according to the router logs, it was disconnected during both of those windows. It was pinging off a mobile hotspot instead." My father blinked. "A hotspot? An iPhone hotspot," Mr. Davis said, scrolling. "Registered under the name Leo's iPhone." Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. Every head in that room turned, slow and heavy, toward the corner. Leo's Switch hit the floor with a crack. "Leo?" My mother's voice was barely a whisper. His face collapsed. The sobbing that came out of him wasn't a kid's tantrum. It was something raw and ugly and real. "He benched me," he screamed, pointing at nothing and everything at once. "For the championship game. Because I missed one practice. It wasn't fair. I wanted him to feel it too." My father's face went white. He looked at Leo, sweet, 11-year-old Leo, and then back at me, the son he'd been ready to send away that same week. Nobody spoke. The silence stretched out, unbearable. Then my father crossed the room slowly, put his hand on my shoulder, and gripped it so hard it left a bruise I'd find the next morning. "I am so sorry," he said, his voice finally breaking. And for the first time in 17 years, I watched my father cry.